Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently holding for further traffic clearance.
Check out Kristen's new website, magicaljourneysvacations.com, for all your vacation needs. Disney, Universal, cruise lines, and more.
Thank you for traveling with us.
magicaljourneysvacations.com. Have her book your magical vacation today. Welcome one and all to yet another edition of WDW After Dark, your weekly webcast for Disney news and reviews and travel tips and Marvel, Star Wars, and so much more. Aljon and Jeff Davis here with you, and we will be joined shortly by Eric Allen. And tonight, we're going to be discussing the latest juicy Disney news tidbits for you. But before we get into all of that great juicy news tidbits that Jeff's going to serve up for you, we are going to talk about our new sponsor, Panda Express. Here you go. This is what I'm talking about. Panda Express. No, I'm just joking. We're not going to talk about Panda Express. We are going to talk about...
where's the corporate money on that one? Come on.
I know, right? Come on. It's split 4 ways. It'll be great.
Seriously, right?
Panda Express, if you're listening. But we are going to be talking about our buku of shows that you can find, a plethora, if you will, El Guapo, online at our website at WDWAfterdark.com, because we've got all of our videos there, all kinds of ways for you to check WDW After Dark out. You have all of our audio podcasts available on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. So there's a plethora of ways for you to check out our program and share the love on social media using our WDW After Dark. Just tag us on Twitter and or Facebook. Let them know you're watching WDW After Dark or listening to it. And then the other thing you can do is support our shows. Do what Eric did and click our link for Amazon for all of your shopping needs. We've got a deal right now going on when you buy an Amazon Echo or any type of stuff there. Click our link for that, and you can have your own personal assistant. Now, Jeff, I'm going to start doing this with our Amazon Echo when I get back into town. I've been meaning to do this. They have a Disney trivia app. Have you seen this?
I've heard about it, but I've never seen it actually work before, but I have heard.
Yeah. So they're called skills. So you can download the skills onto your Amazon Echo, and there's Star Wars trivia, there is Disney Pixar trivia, there is Marvel trivia, all kinds of stuff. And Alexa, their online assistant, will ask you questions and you can score. There's even the Jeopardy app skill for that. So it's a pretty cool thing among the other multitudes of things the Amazon Echo can do for you. And not only that, you can use our link when you click that banner for Amazon and shop to your heart's content. You need new earphones. You need more Disney stuff. You want to get the Disney Encyclopedia or any Walt Disney book. You can do that as well. And you can even download those books in audio form as well using our link, a one-stop shop there at WDWAfterdark.com. You can also use our Fandango link. You can click on that. You know, movies and big blockbusters are kicking off. We've got Beauty and the Beast coming out in just a few weeks. You can pick up your tickets today and go ahead and set your schedule to go see Beauty and the Beast. It looks pretty good. So I'm looking forward to seeing that opening night using our Fandango link at WDWAfterdark.com. And last but not least, you can book your Disney vacation with Kristen, magicaljourneysvacations.com, our co-host there. She is the hostess with the mostest knowledge when it comes to booking your Disney trip, your Disney cruise, your trip to the Disneyland Resort using the neighbor resort hotels, or even doing Adventures by Disney and even Universal too. So go ahead and click our banner for that, and Kristen will set you up. She'll save you time and money. You could book the trip yourself, but why not use that money, support this program that we provide for you every single week for free, and remove all the hassle and the horse stuff that comes with it. And she can even save you money. So if you have any discounts, PIN codes, or anything you want to apply to, we'll do that for you. And all of those shopping links are there at your convenience at WDWAfterdark.com. And now it's on with the show.
WDW After Dark, now loading.
WDW After Dark, live and uncensored, starring Jeff Davis,
410-98-WDWAD. Follow us on Facebook at WDW After Dark, webcast, and Twitter at WDW After Dark. Headline news, Disney food, video games, Marvel and Star Wars. WDW After Dark. Live and uncensored. And now prepare yourself for WDW After Dark.
Aljon Go here, lifelong Disney fan here at WDW After Dark, your weekly place for Disney news, reviews, Marvel, and Star Wars. Joined by our illustrious co-host. He is the news monster, the host of DW60 on Sorcerer Radio. You catch him on his daily, weekly vlog. I mean, whatever he decides to put them out. Mr.
That's
Jeff,
pretty much it. Yeah.
Davis. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, what's going on? How are you? How's life treating you? Pretty well.
Yeah, man. Just on the road, being a road dog once again, bringing you the program from a undisclosed location, as they used to say in the WWF and WWE, from parts unknown.
Parts unknown, yeah.
Yeah, for parts unknown. Jeff, looks like you've got a little under the weather going on.
I've contracted the crud due to the ever popular climate change here in South Mississippi. So yeah, the sniffles, the coughs, all that stuff and everything. I'll probably have it for the next month that I'll have to deal with it. But oh well, life goes on. You got to keep going. So
it's everywhere, you know.
It is,
my friend, who is, I call the rock and roll dentist, somebody that I've gone to the dentist to for many years, lifelong friend, and he got a new strain of the flu that's going around, and gosh, that sucks. So he was put out for an entire week, you know, hurt the business, whatever. God. So it's just like, you know, you don't want to be contagious when that happens. So, you know, take some precautions out there, folks, and definitely, you know, wash your hands a lot and do all that stuff. You know what really bothers me, Jeff? And
what's that?
You know, you travel to the parks, you know, we go to the parks. Does it bother you when people use the restroom and don't wash their hands as much as it?
Oh, it's a pet peeve. I hate that. I hate that more than anything. I mean, I understand that you may know your own body and everything. Oh, I haven't touched this or I haven't touched. But you know what? Other people have touched that stuff, you know, at the same time, and you don't know what they've got. I mean, that's why the soap in the water is there. Use it, people. Come on, please.
I know. There's so many times that I'm in airports or at Disney, and I see people use the restroom, you know, and and trust me, I'm not peering over their shoulder, right? So, you know, but
okay, all righty then. Okay,
well,
establish that, you know.
Qualify that, you know. I'm not a creeper, all right. So, so people leave, and I just want to call them out and say, "Wash your hands."
Seriously, yeah. Because even my boss, anytime he ever talks to somebody and has them in his office or anything, whether he touches them or not, he takes a pump of Purell and is, you know, putting it on his hands no matter what. I don't know if he's a germ freak or something. I have no idea.
I think he's just
but there's nothing wrong with it these days. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think he's just
nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah, I think he's just practicing preventative measures. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong
Does
with
Disney have like different stations around where you can get Purell just at any time? I've never noticed that closely whether or not they do.
I think they do at some locations, you know. So I think it would be very helpful for people to have those hand sanitizing stations, you know. So come on, people, let's do it. But
we've got your headlines. WDW After Dark presents Disney Headline News.
A truckload of news for you for the Disney parks as well as Star Wars in there as well. So let's go ahead and kick things off. Mr. Jeff Davis, our news monster, is going to get it started. What do you have on tap, Jeff?
You know, I don't even know where to start because there's so many different things to choose from, literally between just the two of us for us to talk about.
Yeah.
Something just small. It may not mean a lot to a lot of people, but for some, it's a big deal. But guests at Disney's Hollywood Studios are going to have another chance to meet another Star Wars character over at the launch bay. I mean, right now you've got Chewbacca and you've got Kylo Ren also there, where you can have opportunity to take a picture with them, put them on Disney Photo Pass and everything else. Well, this spring, they're going to be adding BB-8, the most lovable droid ever from Star Wars The Force Awakens. I mean, Little roller guy in orange and white in color, and everybody just absolutely loves him. I've got him sitting on my desk at work and everything. I love that guy. So this spring, he's going to be there for meet and greets. You can take pictures with him, put it on your Disney Photo Pass, and enjoy the other things, really, that the Star Wars launch bay has to offer. All of the great props from all of the Star Wars movies, the merchandise, just to read about each thing, the history of Star Wars itself. If you've never watched the film as you enter the launch bay, you need to watch that. It's a fantastic film. So definitely check that out. But if you're a fan of BB-8, you need to go and see him. Stand in line, get your picture taken, because he might only be there for a limited time. He might be there for the next year. We just don't know. But
yeah. So I wonder how they're going to do that. If they're going to have like the actual droid that's going to roll out to meet you, or if he's going to be in a stationary position, which he is during that show where he kind of pops up from the middle of the stage. Maybe some of our listeners or viewers have seen it.
From a safety standpoint, I'm probably going to say that he'll be stationary and not rolling around or anything else, just in case with the little kids, if they were to, run into him and he rolls a different way when he's not supposed to and everything else. I think for a safety reason, they may not have him rolling around.
Yeah, that would be a concern. I mean, can you imagine little Johnny or little Susie, tripping over BB-8 or deciding to play soccer with him? That could happen.
Yeah, just his head falls off or something, and just people are devastated, and you've killed BB-8, and all that stuff. So,
I mean, BB-8. I know it's like South Park.
I remember that. I remember back when I used to watch that. That was funny. So yeah. Check out Kylo Ren, check out Chewbacca. Neither one I have gotten to see yet. I haven't taken the time to see them. Going to do it probably on the next trip. Hopefully, I'm hoping that they're doing, pass holder previews for Pandora coming up in May and everything. So I plan on being there for that, and I'll go over and see Kylo and Chewbacca and BB-8 and everything. So
I tell you, that's fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. So we got that. Also, Disney announced they're going to begin a major expansion over at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort. The centerpiece itself is a 15-story tower that's going to add about 500 guest rooms, including suites, concierge level services. It's going to overlook Lake Dorado. The tower is going to have rooftop dining with views of the surrounding theme parks and resorts, kind of like what you have over at the Contemporary. So that's going to be something really nice to enjoy. Also part of the refurbishment of the current resort rooms and the addition of floating gardens, an island oasis that connects the resort through a series of bridges. So this is going to be turning into yet another major installment for Disney resorts and an opportunity to stay. And I hear, I don't know if it's Saratoga Springs or if it's Coronado that's turning more business-like as far as showing up. I can't remember exactly. Aljon just brought up the concept art for this new tower. I mean, 15-story high, over 500 rooms. Just the picture itself, that looks fantastic.
Pretty. Yeah,
it is really pretty.
It's really pretty.
Yeah.
And I think Chris and I have mentioned before that Coronado Springs is one of our favorite resorts, just because we like to kind of get away. It's more of a it's for me, it's more of a business kind of getaway because of the convention center being there. A lot of business people
right
go there. So it oftentimes lends itself to be a little quieter than the other resorts.
It does because a few years back, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, my mother, who works for the Murphy Oil Corporation, Murphy USA, some people may know who they are. They hold their yearly managers meeting there at the Coronado Springs. They're at the convention center, and she's gone quite a few times and gotten to enjoy all the nice stuff there and everything. And I've gone over there myself. It is a lot quieter. You don't hear all the hustle and bustle that you do at other places.
Yeah, and for me, it's just so convenient, but I also like to walk around. When we get back to the resort, I like to kind of, take the time. And yes, can you imagine doing any more walking? But yes, I mean, I feel like
seriously,
it's kind of tucked away, and kind of away from everything. You can walk around and enjoy the fake beach, that's there. And
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
it's just really relaxing. So I'm glad they're doing that. I think it'll be interesting. I think they're wanting to maybe attract more families by the look of these resort hotels, with
Mhm.
500 additional rooms, as you mentioned. But man, they do a really good job with those concierge and club level services that they have currently. So it's definitely something that I really like.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. Unfortunately, they don't know when an opening date is going to be. They haven't announced anything on it, but the construction permits have been filed. Expect the work to start for continue for about 2 years is what they're saying it's going to take to get all of this done. So turnaround, if you ask me, only 2 years.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
I think they're preparing for Star Wars.
They've got to be, yeah, because it's going to be
Gotta be.
major when it opens up. Yeah,
Sure is.
so you've got that going on. I'm not going to touch this other one until we somebody else here, but I will talk about this one with you
Okay.
because a lot of people made a big deal out of this, and we can kind of go over whether it is a big deal or not, but Wishes over at the Magic Kingdom.
Mhm.
It is going to have its final performance on May the 11th of this year, and it's going to be replaced with a brand new nighttime spectacular. It's going to happen on May the 12th, the following day. It's an 18-minute show. It's titled Happily Ever After, and it will feature fireworks, projections, and lasers. Now, like the recently opened Once Upon a Time, the show is going to draw on Disney films. That's going to be the centerpiece of this entire show is Disney films. And they include Pirates of the Caribbean, The Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, Moana, Brave, Big Hero 6, Zootopia, Princess and the Frog, Aladdin, The Little Mermaid, Lion King, Frozen, Toy Story, Peter Pan, Sleeping Beauty, and The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Wow.
Yeah. Now,
I was surprised to hear that.
crazy. Now, when this news came out, you immediately, within a matter of minutes, you started to see the backlash of people who don't like change. And we all understand change with the Disney resorts is never easy and sometimes is a hard pill to swallow. Understandable. Wishes has been around since, golly, it's been 13 years that it's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these people on social media these days have done their very first Disney vacation within that 13-year time span and have gone back numerous times. And so I think Wishes was a part of their first memories, Disney World Resort, of being at the Magic Kingdom for the first time. And they've taken their families to go, and it's become part of their vacation. And when you take something like that away from them, it's natural to be mad about it. You're going to get some backlash from it. Yes, Tinkerbell is still going to fly from the top of Cinderella Castle off into Tomorrowland. That is still going to happen because a lot of people were worried to see Tinkerbell anymore. It's not the case. It is still going to happen. But I think we've talked about shows at Disney before. We've talked about Wishes. We've talked about Illuminations. And we've talked about a few other things as well. And we've said in the past there are some things that needed to be updated, or we have mentioned there's some things that just need to be replaced by something new. And we've mentioned Wishes before. So that's why I really didn't have that much of a problem replacement of this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it will be a nice, fresh start with the new projection show also before it going on that they've introduced. And I think it will be something fresh that people are missing because they don't have a nighttime parade at the Magic Kingdom. It will be something else that's going to help out in that situation because Disney hasn't mentioned anything. They haven't said if they're going to be replacing the Main Street Electrical Parade yet. It's been quite a while since, it left.
Yeah. And I also foresee it, with all the characters that you mentioned, having more character meet and greets to coincide with that. Right now, they had some of the characters of Zootopia, go along with some of the different shows and parades, but I think it'd be great to have those come back for meet and greets and things of that nature. And man, I'm looking forward to it. Something new, you know. And for
Yeah,
newer
yeah, something
people
new.
that are going to the parks, I think they're going to be just happy to see a really awesome show where they get to showcase all their latest technology in one show.
And see, that's the thing. Disney has come up with all this new technology that I wouldn't say has been held back, but Wishes have been around for so long. Everybody loves fireworks. The fireworks are fantastic. The music to Wishes, everybody knows it by. If you're a major level 5 Disney fan, you know word for word when fireworks go off when it comes to Wishes, because you've seen it and you love it so much. I mean, it's just second nature to you. But something new and something fresh and new technology that's being used. What they do at that castle is up there is absolutely amazing, because when I saw the Jingle Bell Jingle Bam during the holiday season, it became very apparent to me that I'm beginning to enjoy the projection shows more than traditional fireworks with music.
It's new to you.
Yeah, it's new, it's fresh. It is something that really catches and keeps your attention, because there's always something going on. There's always something moving around, lasers going off. Yeah, there's still some fireworks, and that's great. But there's so many extra added audio and visual effects to enjoy, and that's what you're going to have in this brand new spectacular.
Totally. And for those of you that are, you know, looking at the score, because everybody loves the music of Wishes. I don't know a single person that doesn't, right? It says the score for Happily Ever After was recorded by a 75-piece orchestra in London that includes a bunch of clips of tunes, including Beauty and the Beast, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Jungle Book, and many more. So, wow, a 75-piece orchestra. Disney in the past has had so much of the smaller orchestras and a lot of synthesizer type of music put in, and to see it, hear it, you know, done in such a thematic way with a 75-piece orchestra in London. Oh my gosh. And can you imagine if like Michael Giacchino like was to do the music and conduct that, you know, that, because you know, he's the man right now, you know, kind of taking over for the likes of, you know, like John Williams and things of that. And he's composed music for the parks before, as well as a lot of the other blockbuster hits. So I can only imagine, you know, how cool that would be to do it. So I'm looking forward to it. And I tell you what, the picture of that castle looks so amazing, does it not?
And it does, because you know that even what you're seeing on that picture of the castle, that is what you're going to be seeing actually in the show. I mean, it may not be to a T, but really that is what the castle looks like when it has that projection on it. It is just absolutely phenomenal what they do. And then with the added, you know, extra stuff as far as lasers and then fireworks to go along with it, plus, you know, this music that's going to go, it's going to be fantastic. Now, a lot of people were very, very concerned and still upset. Yeah, Wishes is gone. But they said, well, what about holiday wishes? What about happy hollow wishes? You know, those two shows that go on during the Christmas holiday season, also during Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Those are not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. Those are going to be sticking around. So you will still have that wishes during those parties. Of course, those parties are exclusive. They are a hard ticket event, and you need to buy an extra ticket in order to enjoy them. But otherwise, you'll be able to enjoy those during the holiday season. So don't worry about that. It'll be perfectly fine. But if you are upset, I understand. But
change is good.
Don't knock it till you see it. Yeah, change is okay. Don't knock it till you see it. Yeah,
try it.
Thank you. Hashtag try it, because that's really what it all comes down to. And about, you know, seeing Wishes, you can always watch it on YouTube, and you can always listen to it on Sorcerer Radio. So, I mean, hey, it's going to be there for the test of time. That's okay, and that's fine.
And yeah, it is fine. And you're exactly right. You know, and who's to say that Wishes won't come back for a limited run, you know, down the road?
It could. You know, it could. Yeah. I mean, they do Disney's coming out with a lot of special events here lately, exclusive events and hard ticket events that they only run for a few weeks at a time. So just like you said, who's to say that during one of those events, hey, fireworks we need to use for wishes. Let's give it a run.
Exactly. They definitely know where to buy all those fireworks for sure. So
Yeah, exactly. So
all right. I'm looking
those
forward
those are the major things. There's one other major thing, but I'm going to hold on to that for our discussion and when Eric is here. So
all right. Well, that sounds good. You know, there's a couple other things. Thank you, Jeff, for that.
Yeah.
You know, ABC has been part of the Disney family in terms of television for many, many years. In fact, it dates all the way back to the very beginning as ABC helped finance the Disneyland park when it opened. But we have a late night staple who may be retiring, and that's Jimmy Kimmel. According to an article from MSN.com and Variety, it seems like for the last 14 years, Jimmy Kimmel has spent 70 hours a week toiling away on his late night talk show. And he writes his own monologues and extensively researched the guests, which, you know, Jeff, you and I both know just from being a radio talent on FM radio, not just Sorcerer Radio, but there's a lot of time and effort that goes into putting these shows, including a WDW After Dark, together, producing that stuff. And Jimmy Kimmel has been working tirelessly. His contract is set to expire the fall of 2019. And he's definitely thought about retiring. He says, quote, "I know I will do the show for another 3 years," Kimmel said in this week's Variety cover story as he gears up to host the Oscars on Sunday. "It's possible that it will be it. My wife is pregnant. At a certain point, I'd like to have a little more free time. Right now, I have very little time as it is." As the executive producer and control freak of Jimmy Kimmel Live, he arrives at the Hollywood studio at 9 a.m., shoots around 5 p.m., returns to his computer after dinner. He goes, "I think this job is a grind and best case scenario into a marathon." He goes, "I want to go out on my own terms. If I ever feel like repeating ourselves, I think it's a good indication that it's time." He goes, "Television is changing quickly. I get a lot of offers to do other things." Kimmel, who's 49, says, "When he leaves Jimmy Kimmel Live, it won't be for another late night vehicle. If there's something that exists for me creatively, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to do it something in show business. I like to draw, make sculptures. I'd like to write a book at some point. Doing the show every day doesn't leave a lot of time for that." So, and it's crazy. And of course, Kimmel changed the face of late night with Jimmy Fallon and Stephen Colbert, and they're duking it out in the ratings. So I totally understand, you know, producing these type of programs is a grind. Jimmy has been doing that a lot, very tirelessly. I think we all remember him from doing the Man Show at some point, which was a hilarious show. And I wish Jimmy all the best because your kids grow up so quickly. So
I guess
and he's a funny
my
dude.
question,
I like it. I like his show. So
my question, Aljon, is: do they already have a short list? If he's talking this, do they have a short list as to who would replace him? Because I don't think ABC would want to lose that late night time slot, something like that. So, any type of a short list mentioned?
There is none mentioned in the article, but one can only imagine that Jimmy Kimmel is probably eyeing a replacement along with Disney ABC executives, so who knows what may happen. I can tell you who may be pretty cool in that role would be someone like Chris Hardwick, right? Because Chris right now, he's owning it. He owns it right now. He would be like with his shows on Comedy Central and all the after shows that he does and Nerdist Network and all that. I think that would be a great transition for him. If I was to name somebody to take over, he has got the pulse of what's going on in today's culture, and he is such a great host. I've got a tremendous amount of respect for Chris Hardwick, and he is so funny. So I think he would be great. And Jeff, I know you're a Walking Dead fan, so you probably
definitely.
You probably watch The Talking Dead, and I think he's just such a great host and so energetic, and he has a comedic background. So that would be someone that I could see doing. And Chris has already proven that he can host a lot of different things for the Disney companies. He's worked tremendously with the Star Wars and Lucasfilm and Marvel and those geeky properties. So I think that would be a great thing. Who would you like to see filling his shoes?
Since you're just now mentioning this, I don't even have a long list right now. much less a short list as to who. I mean, I really have to think about it because I enjoy Jimmy Kimmel. He's always been just all around good guy and so enjoyable to watch.
I've not heard anything
Hard to
disparaging
say
about him. Yeah,
I've never seen anything crazy about him when it comes to pop news. Oh, Jimmy Kimmel did this, or he's being accused of this. He's always stayed out of trouble.
Mhm.
He's really stayed out of trouble. He's always been a good guy, and to see him go is a big loss for ABC. It's a big loss for Disney, but you can't blame the man for wanting to spend time with his family. Let's be honest. You can't blame him.
And truth be told, he's talking about it, and that also could be a ploy. When contracts are up, he could be using that as leverage for ABC to shell out more money for him down the road. So, threatening to leave puts a huge hole. And right now, something that is kind of not fathomable to a lot of those network executives. Like, who are we going to get to replace him? Who could possibly go up against someone like Jimmy Fallon and Stephen Colbert? So,
well, the thing is that, Jimmy is the final one who's been around for quite a few years now. The replacement for Dave Letterman isn't exactly, numbers at times, but he is still good. Fallon, of course, has done much better than the first time Jay Leno decided to leave the Tonight Show, and hasn't had any problems, has done well, has dealt a little bit with alcoholism, I believe, maybe a little bit of a drinking problem at times in previous years, but I think he's cleaned that up. So Kimmel is the veteran when it comes to all of this, and to be able to literally put up a fight with the other two big networks, they would have to bring in somebody really good, really big, and very quick to make an impact on late night TV, which is not easy. Even Conan O'Brien is doing well over at TBS. Is doing well. So, and Netflix has even picked up late night TV. You can watch it anytime that you want to, but even they have it. So there's big competition out there. So they're going to really have to either pay him good or find somebody great.
Yeah, truth be told, when it comes to late night TV, I enjoy it. However, I do oftentimes watch the stuff on YouTube on their YouTube channel because I can't stay up late anymore. With so many other entertainment choices, I love the fact that you can see these things on demand, and I can see these performances and things. So
there's some of the interviews I don't find interesting because I don't find the person that they're interviewing interesting. So that's why I enjoy the YouTube aspect as well. I can go and look at the highlights, just get the gist of it. And then with all the extra skits, especially with Jimmy Fallon, he throws all of his stuff up there on YouTube for people to watch when it comes to skits, and has got millions upon millions of viewers and hits.
Yeah, the skits are great. In terms of late night, I like James Corden. I think he's funny. I like Fallon, but Jimmy Kimmel right now, I think he's great. I mean, he hits a lot of marks for me, and he seems to be genuinely likable. I was going to ask you, I haven't seen or heard anyone say anything negative about Jimmy Kimmel, no. But I was a big fan of the Man Show, him and Adam Carolla, and I'm glad that both of them are doing so well in their respective, forms of media right now. So.
Well, Carolla's got like the number one podcast on iTunes right now or something.
Yeah, his podcast network is amazing. Podcast One.
Yeah.
He started that and helped start that, and he's just doing great. So he's continuing to do radio on his own terms, much like we do on Source of Radio. It's radio on our own.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
which I love. Coming from that broadcast background, though, I understand, and I know you do too. That show prep takes a lot of time. Hosting DW60, working on FM radio like both of us have, it's very time consuming.
Yeah, it is very time consuming.
Yeah. So that is left in that. Other big news here. Let's talk about Star Wars, Jeff. Have you seen this? Han Solo and the Solo film, the standalone story, is in principle.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Is underway. Going on right now. Principal photography on the yet untitled Han Solo Star Wars story is underway. Do you say Han or Han?
I say Han.
Okay. You see, Orlando Calrissian would say, "Han, old pal, old buddy," you know. He
Yeah.
would say that, and it's
Yeah.
like, but it's rolling right now. The iconic scoundrel, everyone's favorite Wookiee. I love Chewbacca. Principal photography has begun on the Star Wars Han Solo solo story. It officially began just yesterday, February 20th, at Pinewood Studios in London. The movie will explore the duo's adventures before the events of Star Wars A New Hope, including early encounters with that other card-playing rogue from a galaxy far, far away. What do we have here? Lando Calrissian. Phil Lord and Christopher Miller are the directors who are piloting the movie, rather, with a cast that includes Alden Ehrenreich as Han as Han Solo, Woody Harrelson, Amelia Clarke, Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian, Thandie Newton and Phoebe Waller-Bridge, with Jonas Suotamo as Chewbacca, and I believe he was the same gentleman that played him in The Force Awakens. So it says here, watching such inspired people from all over the world with such unique voices all come together for the sole purpose of making art is nothing short of miraculous. Lord and Miller said, we can't think of anything funny to say because we just feel like we feel really moved and really lucky. So let me show you a cast photo of this bunch of rogues, if you will. Check this out. Look at this happy family right there. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I think it's great. Look,
I love me some Amelia Clarke. No doubt about that. She is a fantastic actress. She's great.
Yeah, right?
Absolutely wonderful. Woody Harrelson, what a fantastic pick that is. I mean,
no kidding, man.
And I know that he is really excited. He is really excited about this.
I would. I mean, to go from Hunger Games to something like this is Harrelson to be the next kind of I don't know, Samuel L. Jackson, possibly. He's got the acting chops. I love Zombieland. If you saw him on any Hunger Games films, I think he's just an absolutely amazing actor. And recently, as we talk about Lando Calrissian and Donald Glover, recently there was a photograph shared over Instagram of the two of them and Billy D. Williams having lunch together. And it would seem that he's trying to gain some insight as to the character over the years. We know Billy D. Williams, and I've met Billy D. He is just an amazing guy. He's just so cool and so laid back. But he really is kind of adopted that character. Billy D. and Lando are the same person, So it's what an old smoothie. So So looking forward to that, and you can expect that Star Wars story, Han Solo, to be released May 25th of 2018. So looking forward to that.
I'm really hoping, Aljon, and this is just a wish as a Star Wars fan, that somewhere in there we get a little bit of Jabba the Hutt and we get a little bit of Boba Fett in some form or fashion, because those two characters are so closely tied just to Han Solo himself. So that's just my hope and wish for this movie, is we get a little bit of that.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be written by Lawrence and Jason Kasdan, and that name, if it sounds familiar to you, should, because Lawrence Kasdan was attached to one of the most well and highest regarded Star Wars films, The Empire Strikes Back, as well as Star Wars: The Force Awakens. So that should be very interesting as well. So so looking forward to that. Jeff, do you recall watching Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade?
Yes.
Okay. Remember how they had the young Indiana Jones there with, I think it was River Phoenix that played him in the early going, with his youth, and he had his mentor there. Got, basically run down by one of the coolest train sequences I've ever seen, with the big snake and all that other stuff. I know that supposedly, we're going to find Han Solo's mentor in this film, and I hope they don't revisit that type of, flashback storyline. Like, I hope we see something fresh, and I think we will. But my fear is that it's going to take a note from that young Indiana Jones kind of storytelling that we may have been introduced to in Indiana Jones, as some type of mirroring for that character. Now, there has been a lot said about those two characters being so similar, but I really don't want my Star Wars and my Indiana Jones to mix in that way. You know, there's been a lot of stuff to intertwine those franchises in the past because of Lucasfilm, you know, obviously, and George Lucas penning both of those.
Sure. Yeah. We saw something similar to that mentoring and flashback type of storytelling in Rogue One with what's her name?
Jen Erso?
Thank
Jen?
you.
Mm-hmm.
When she was, you know, had to run from her parents and found someone, or someone found her, mentored her, helped her grow up into the person that she was. He went one way, she went another. And that was a very quick flashback. That was very first 15, 20 minutes of the film. And then you revisited that again for another 10 to 15 minutes in the middle of the film, just to get to where we were going with everything and getting the plans and stuff like that. Yeah, people who've seen the movie understand what I'm saying. But if we look at a flashback like that, what I don't think was too much in Rogue One, I can understand it and I'll accept it. If it's a whole 30-minute thing like it was in Indiana Jones, 30 to 40 minutes worth of just, it seemed to just kind of drag on at times when it didn't need to. It might put a sour taste in some people's mouths, you know.
Yeah,
so
well, I have faith, trust, and pixie dust that this Han Solo film is going to knock it out of the park. You know, we did discuss Rogue One, you know, breaking the top 10 in terms of all-time best grossing films of all time, and I think this one has the possibility of being that good. And you know,
do we have a release date for Rogue One on Blu-ray and DVD?
I believe it's coming out. Let's see here. Doctor Strange is out, so I think it's coming out April. I think is what Rogue One is slated to do. Sometime in April.
Going to be May the 4th. I wish it was May the 4th.
No. However, you know, there will be something cool. Speaking of Star Wars, did you know that Star Wars Force Friday is coming back?
I did. I heard about that. I did see it.
Yeah. So, it's going to be great. You know, Star Wars Force Friday 2 is going to be announced. If you don't recall, Star Wars Force Friday, it was a huge initiative that they rolled out with the merchandising for the upcoming Star Wars film, The Force Awakens, at that time. And it previewed all the great toys in a global unboxing ceremonies around the world. And it was great. And then, of course, that was coupled with the fact that, you know, people were able to go to various toy stores and department stores, Walmarts and Targets and things of that nature to purchase those toys. And I was there at a Target at midnight when Force Friday began, and it was just insanity. It was insanity. So mark your calendars, everyone, because you won't have to wait till December to find out who the Last Jedi are. Okay, this is from ABC News, by the way. You'll be able to check out all the official toys and characters.
I noticed that. Aljon, you're like reading my mind for some reason tonight, because I saw that exact same story. And I started thinking back to other Star Wars movies where they mention the Jedi and you're a Jedi or the Jedi. And it's not singular, yet it is not plural. It is both at the same time.
Yeah.
And like, I love the fact that you just brought that up. I mean, because that puts a huge smile on my face and on my heart to hear that. So,
let's back it up. Let's back it up for a minute, because we had not addressed this on After Dark. Just really quick before we wrap the show up. So, you know, the film was teased with a ominous Star Wars The Last Jedi in red writing, right? It came out that kind of harkened back to another film called Star Wars Return of the Jedi. Or at the original outset, before the film was released, it was actually called Revenge of the Jedi in red writing. So this would allude maybe a darker tone for the film. But who are the Last Jedi? Was it Rey? Is it Luke Skywalker? Or is it both? We don't know. International movie posters had been released, and that would seem to confirm that it is plural. The Last Jedi. So there you go. There you have it. So having said that, now that we touched on it, September 1st is a date that you need to mark on your calendar for Force Friday. And you'll get to see all the new toys. Of course, the New York Toy Fair happened this week. If you search it out, you'll be able to see some things, but not all the things from Star Wars. 18 hours and 15 cities in 12 countries around the globe. And over 130,000 fans attended the midnight events in the US and Canada. I was one of them, as I just mentioned. And 3,000 retailers are ready for this event. 2.8 billion Twitter impressions. 620,000 social posts, 18 million Facebook impressions. This is the biggest global launch of anything. It's the highest grossing film of all times domestically, the Star Wars Force Awakens, and this will also be in there as well. Can you imagine, Jeff, in 2015, Hasbro sold 5 million lightsabers. 5 million lightsabers.
Wow. That's crazy.
It became the #1 toy property in the US. I think we could all say that was exciting and fun.
I've got one in my bedroom, so it doesn't surprise me at all. Yeah.
It says about $1 of every $11 was spent on a Star Wars toy in the US the week of Force Friday. That is a lot of money. Star Wars is a merchandising machine, and now, once again, you can partake in this biggest global event happening September 1st. Mark your calendars. More details at StarWars.com. So I'm looking forward to it. And, I'm going to be doing the Force Friday. Jeff, did you do Force? You did Force Friday too, did you not? We talked about that, yeah?
I was there. I saw the line and I turned around and I went home. That was my Force Friday experience, because I couldn't stay up for it. There was no way, because even as small of a town as Biloxi, you wouldn't expect the response to be that big for just a bunch of toys when it comes to Star Wars. Oh, was I wrong? I was totally wrong on the amount of Star Wars fans in the South Mississippi area. So I turned around and went back home and just read about it.
So this is what we did. So Nashville proper had huge lines. We drove out to a neighboring town, and the lines were very small. So,
so you got lucky.
Let's just check it out. Let's just check it out. So we drove to a neighboring town. It was about 35 minutes out of the way, and wow, I mean, nothing. It was great. So we're definitely looking forward to that. So we're wrapping up the show. Thank you so much for sharing those news headlines, and thank you for joining us for another edition of WDW After Dark. Jeff, where can people see you on the interwebs?
Okay, well, to see me, you can see me here on WDW After Dark, but you can also see me on YouTube, Jeff Davis Vlogs. You can find it. Just look for my name, look for my face. That's all you got to do, really. I put vlogs out every now and then. They're going to become more frequent later on. But if you want to hear me, you can hear me on DW60 on Sorcerer Radio every Thursday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, over at srsounds.com, where we look at the latest Walt Disney World headlines, news, rumors, fun stuff, and great music as well. So I encourage you to listen to that. If you're looking for me on Twitter, you can find me at DW_60 and the Sorcerer Radio Disney Fun Zone over on Facebook as well.
Very good. And once again, you can check myself out too at JediMouseketeer.com on social media there, Facebook and Twitter, Jedi Mouseketeer. And you can check me out as well as Christian on WDW Tiki Room, the show about all things Disney on Sorcerer Radio every Friday morning. You can check it out at srsounds.com. Big shout out to our friends at Sorcerer Radio, all Disney music all day long. And you can download those free apps and enjoy the best Disney experience from the music that you hear around the parks, the attractions, and other locations like Disneyland. And of course, the best host and Disney fans hosting, for fans by fans, Sorcerer Radio at srsounds.com. And we appreciate you checking out WDW After Dark at www.afterdark.com. Send us those emails too at www.afterdark@gmail.com, and hopefully we'll be able to read your email and question and comment in an upcoming episode. In the meantime, on behalf of the entire crew, Jeff, myself, we wish you a great week. Don't forget, it's better after dark. We'll see you next time.